All right, man. It's kind of crazy because I thought this year's NBA free agency class, I thought it was relatively weak, but it's completely exceeded all my expectations. A lot of players, they got put in some very favorable positions, and even though it seems like it's just the Lakers and the Nets, a lot of teams got noticeably better. But that's not what I want to talk about in today's video. I'll get to that later. In today's video, I want to talk about players that even after all the madness, they're still in some pretty terrible situations. Now, before we get into all that, and trust me, I'm going to go on some slight rants, let me shout out today's video sponsor, Raycon. With headphones nowadays, I feel like there's no in between. Either headphones are too overpriced for the quality of music you're getting, or they're just cheap and they feel that way. With Raycon, you finally have the perfect balance of great quality without having to break the bank feeling like you got finesse much later. Raycon starts at half the price compared to other premium audio brands, but they sound just as good. Also, if you're like me, you know your music in the gym, it matters. Like the quality, the fit, all that stuff matters when you're getting it in. Raycons come with a bunch of gel tips specifically for your comfort, and unlike other brands, and you see me trying them right now, the headphones don't stick all out your ears and give you this uncomfortable experience. Like it's a perfect hand and glove fit for anybody's ears. Also, they have a 32-hour battery life, so you can use them for the majority of the week, really on one charge. And they have a 45-day happiness guarantee policy, so you don't really have any risk. If you want to get that quality sound while saving some coins, visit buyraycon.com/swishout. They're even offering 15% off when you use my link, so click the link in my description and take advantage of this opportunity. Big shout out to Raycon for sponsoring the video and making sure my guys can play my videos with premium sound. Now let's get into this video.
And that's what my job is for this team. I feel like now I'm the franchise guy since James has left, and you very rarely get an opportunity to be a franchise in two different cities and two different teams. I was on with one team for 10 years, and I feel like that's my job to be the leader of this team. And
John Wall, he's a player that's easily forgotten about when we talk about star point guards, and unfortunately, it's for good reason. It's crazy to even think about it because time went by so damn fast. But 4 years ago, literally just in 2017, this man was easily a top 5 point guard in the NBA. Second in the league in assists in 2017, third in 2016. In fact, he had a 4-year stretch where he was at least top 3 in assists every single year, and he had a 3-year stretch where he averaged 10 assists every single season. John Wall's whole career was built off his athleticism, his defense, and definitely his playmaking, and really up until the point of his injury, he was a healthy-ass player. But then in 2018, he got a significant knee injury. Then followed that up with the following year, he got a season-ending heel injury that got infected. Then followed that up with the fact that he tripped in his own crib and tore his Achilles. And unfortunately, fast forwarding 3 years later, now you have a old injury-riddled John Wall that's just not the same. Now he's stuck in Houston where they're clearly rebuilding, and they only traded for him in the first place because they were trying to keep James Harden happy, and reportedly he wanted to play with John Wall over Russell Westbrook. Also, they were just exchanging bad contracts, so it's not like he was actually wanted there. And now with the emergence of Kevin Porter Jr., who's only 21 years old, who's probably going to be their primary ball handler for the future, and the fact that they just drafted Jalen Green to pair with him and possibly make a lethal backcourt for years to come, where exactly does a 31-year-old John Wall, past his prime, where does he fit in? No trade value because he's probably on the worst contract in sports. Not a good fit because the team's 2 best young players, they basically share your position. Not a good situation because you're a vet player on a rebuilding team and you can't get bought out because your contract is way too large. It's just a tough situation for a player like John Wall, but at least he got paid. Luca Doncic, last playoffs, he was easily one of the biggest sympathetic figures that I can remember, and again, for great reasoning. All the records he broke, all the individual performances he had, I mean, it just made everyone feel bad for a guy that clearly didn't have enough help. This offseason, and I feel like we all knew this, Mark Cuban, the GM, Jason Kidd, whoever, we all knew this. Their biggest priority should have been playmaking and shot creation depth. Last year, it was way too much Luca Doncic. In fact, he broke records. It was way too much Luca Doncic or bust. If Luca didn't set it up, it didn't happen. If Luca didn't score, the team damn near didn't score. If Luca went on the bench, you can damn near guarantee it was going to be a pretty big run. Like, that's how their team was constructed. With that being the clear current state of that team, all they really did this offseason was maintain the players they already had, and I like Tim Hardaway, I really do, and bring in more players that's not going to help Luca Doncic, at least offensively. It's weird as hell actually saying the player that just got $200 million directly off their rookie deal. It's weird saying they're in a bad situation, but for winning purposes, if they don't make a splash move, it's going to be the exact same. Karl Anthony Towns' stock, it's definitely dropped a bit since the dominance he had early in his career. In 2017, not that long ago, NBA GMs, they did a poll on who they would start their franchise with at that specific moment. Cat won over all 4 of these players, easily 4 of the top 5 players in the league right now when they're healthy. The year before that, he absolutely destroyed the poll, so you can tell at that time, his stock was ridiculously high. But then, just 1 year after being number 1 consecutive years, he wasn't even top 5 anymore. I don't know if it was the Jimmy Butler situation, maybe how he performed in the playoffs. It's like nobody even cared about him. And as it stands right now, and I know he's been through some crazy personal stuff over the last year, so God bless him for sure. But as far as his career, it just feels like it's stagnant. Cat, every single year, puts up great numbers on consistent bad teams. I love D'Angelo Russell. As y'all should know, that's my personal favorite player and my profile picture. But he struggles severely defensively, and to me, he's on the wrong team. Like, he should be used kind of how Kemba Walker just went to the Knicks. A bad defensive player that contributes offensively, joining a great defensive team. Now he doesn't have to emphasize that side of the ball, and he can just focus on what he's good at. Like, that's how D'Lo should be used. Now you have him on a already bad defensive team. Your third highest paid player, Malik Beasley, he just got out of jail today. Anthony Edwards isn't the best defensively as well, and he's most effective with the ball in his hands. So I don't really know how that meshes well with Malik Beasley, D'Lo, and Cat. Like, it just sounds like a mess to me. Extremely talented team, but the fits, I mean, they're odd as hell. Defensively, they're probably going to be just as bad. I like the Pat Bev trade, but I don't know how much that helps. And for a player like Cat, it has to suck being at the exact same spot you were when you got drafted and watching your peer Devin Booker go to the finals after just being in a similar situation. Like, to me, it's just messy, man. De'Aaron Fox is another player that it just pains me to watch. Last year, this man averaged 25 points and 7 assists. One of only 5 players to actually accomplish that last year that qualified, and he was the only one that didn't make the damn playoffs. And unfortunately next year, bro, it's going to be more of the same. Like, he's stuck on a team with 2 of their best players not even really wanting to be in Sacramento. They just re-signed Rashawn Holmes, who I liked, but he's not changing life in Sacramento, bro. I'm sorry. And the rest of their free agency signings, they were pretty much like roster fillers. Like, they didn't really do anything to change life for that team. Zaya Williamson, he isn't like in a terrible situation where he doesn't have talent around him or something like that. Like, it's not that bad, but I do feel like his team's future, it definitely took a few steps back. I'm not going to overemphasize it too much because I already did enough of that in my last video. Go check it out if you didn't see it. But in summary, Zion is going to be with his 3rd coach in 3 seasons. They pretty much lost Lonzo Ball for nothing, plus a few key assets that they got from the AD trade. And now you're putting a lot of pressure on a young Zion and a young Brandon Ingram to carry you to the playoffs, which they're probably not even going to make. Ben Simmons, he's a player to me that he just completely lost this offseason. Now, I do think, a lot of his critiques, a lot of the social media jokes, stuff like that, it has been harsh. But to be honest, bro, it's warranted. Like, he's completely holding back an extremely talented team. On this one, I'm going to actually tag in Colin because, to be honest, I couldn't have said it any better.
I will always support the player, a young man that comes into the NBA. He's worked his butt off. He's a top pick. He goes to a bad team, and the owner and the executives fail him. But Ben Simmons is out of his mind. He's mad at Philadelphia. Timeout. Okay, he's the one that can't hit a free throw. Okay, just think about these 4 or 5 things. They draft him, and he misses the entire first season. All right, not his fault. And then they give him the max extension, despite the fact he can't shoot and he is a point guard. And then they hire a deal-making general manager and Doc Rivers, a player-friendly coach. Despite rumors, they always support him publicly. Even after a playoff series in which he was a point guard that was terrified to have the ball in his hands, they defend him publicly. And he's mad at them?
At this point, I done talked about this man so damn much, it's just going to look like I'm bullying him, so I don't even want to do that, so thank you, Colin. And lastly, man, Damian Lillard. This is another topic / another player that I've talked about a lot recently, but he has to be on this damn list. Their offseason moves were so damn mid. It was almost like they were pushing Dame to request a trade. Like, we don't deserve you. Go be great without us. You're better than us. For anyone that doesn't understand why I'm pushing this so much, just hear me out really quickly. Damian Lillard is 31 years old. Dame is one of the best talents we have in the NBA. Dame played 4 years at Weber State. That's abnormal. Typically, players come in directly after their first season in college, and they come in as a kid, having time to waste. Dame didn't. Dame has already played more seasons in Portland than LeBron did when he left Cleveland the first time. Dame has played just as many seasons in Portland as Kevin Durant did in OKC. Dame has the second worst playoff record, only to Carmelo, his former teammate. He has the second worst playoff record from anybody that's won at least 22 games. This team is clearly deteriorating your career. Please leave. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys like the video. I will be doing players in the best situations right after this, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Follow my social media sites, turn on post notifications, do all that great stuff, guys, and until next time, as always, stay tuned.